Hi, Jewells68 here for Talk to Me Tuesday on Tuesday, November 8th. Probably going to have to do some serious editing. I have some things to, quite a few things to show you this week. Of course, last week was Halloween, and I did finish my daughter's costume in time. So let's talk about that first, I guess. She wanted to be a character. There's Pouncy. You coming in? The kitties keep trying to visit. I've got Fluffy right here. Ugh. The big fluff bag. And Pouncy's right at the door so that she can't leave. Come on. Come on. You want out? There you go. Alright, so anyway. Halloween. My daughter wanted to be the character CC or C2 from Code Geass, which is her favorite anime. And I will insert a picture of the character here. First things first, I told her the skirt will be longer. There will be no thigh highs. And it will not be as low cut. There's not going to be any cleavage. And that was agreed. So proceeded to make my own version of the costume. Pretty much everything was thrifted, with the exception of the little top hat, little tiny top hat, and the bows, which I made from scratch. And in reality, it's 3 pieces. It's this big rectangle, which is kind of like a pillowcase that's been sewed up at one end. But I made that with some black cotton I had on hand. And then this is actually another little tube of fabric that I slid the big piece into. And then this is actually yet another tube, pillowcase-like piece of fabric, one big piece that I just folded up right here and hand-sewed it to the back of the bow and to the back of the knot, to make one piece. And when it's done, from the right side, it looks like a big bow that's been tied. And this was just safety pinned to the back of her costume. Like I said, everything was thrifted. I'll show you. I bought a suit, a red suit at ladies' suit at Thrift Town, and I will put the before picture of that here. I also bought a blouse, a peasant blouse that was oversized, and some dance leggings at Goodwill, both of those at Goodwill. And what else was thrifted? I think that's all that was thrifted. And then I also bought this wig. The kooky baddie witch wig right here, which thankfully came with the bats not attached. So, yay! The suit. Cut the suit apart, cut the arms off, cut the neck, the mandarin collar off. And I made the mandarin collar into the little Velcro on neck piece. Like that. I actually had the lace is actually this, like it's this wide, and I just cut it in half. And the seam where the mandarin collar used to be attached to the suit, I opened that up completely and then proceeded to, I inserted the lace, the edge of the lace, and just hand sewed it. That was like my in the car project when I was picking her up from school. The leggings were just regular ankle length leggings, which I will show you before here. The pins that you see before where the knees would be, kind of, that's marking where I'm going to cut it off. What I did was I took a t-shirt and just cut a couple of trapezoids out of the t-shirt and used that. It was like a men's extra large. And I used that, basically sewed that together to make the two ankle pieces. I'm not sure, spats. I'm not sure what those are. Anyway, I just sewed them directly onto the leggings. The finished leggings are here. I can't find the before pictures that I took of the blouse, but it had just a square peasant neckline. It wasn't an elastic neckline. It was like a big open square. And all I did was basically cut the buttons off and ran, I sewed it together to get rid of the buttons, and then I put elastic on the, turned it right side out, put elastic around the neckline, and basically just gathered it by sewing elastic, stretching elastic and sewing it to the neckline. Shirt sleeves originally came to about here. They were like 3/4 sleeves with buttons. I cut that off as close to the edge as possible to get rid of the whole closure and just make it a wide open puffy sleeve, and did that on both sides, and then took the parts that I'd whacked off the ankles of the leggings and cut those to about, left them sewed together and cut those to about 4 inches or 6 inches, I think, and sewed them to the sleeve. I gathered the sleeve, sewed that to that, and then I whacked off the sleeves of a long sleeve t-shirt that I had that was white, and whacked off the wristband, evened out the part right here that I cut off. I cut it off right at the arm first, and then I made it straight so that it looked like a bell sleeve, and sewed the narrow part to the rest of the black band, and it made bell sleeves that looked like they were in a black armband. I will put a picture of, I think I have a picture of the finished blouse over the leggings here. The overskirt I made with the skirt from the two-piece suit, the red suit, and I basically just cut it off. It was a suit that has like a zipper that goes about halfway up from about your booty to the waist, and I cut that whole part of the skirt off so that all you had was the bottom half of the skirt. I opened it up at the center seam, sewed the hem down so that it was just a big kind of trapezoid shape, and then attached old underwear elastic to the inside to gather it, and went ahead and attached it all the way around and left a little piece of white elastic here because it doesn't really look like it's a closed skirt over the other skirt. The underskirt was actually a long, almost like floor length, white cotton peasant skirt, and I basically cut it off, cut the top half off. Basically just cut the bottom half off so that I still had a nice finished hemline, skirt hemline, and I folded over at the top to make a casing, ran elastic or fold over elastic through faux, and then Phoebe decided she wanted it attached to the overskirt, so I sewed those just here and there along the waistband so that it was really one costume piece instead of two. Let's see, I showed you the bow. The small bow was actually just a smaller, kind of like this one. It was kind of like this piece right here, and about the same length, I guess, because I think it was cut from the same strip. And I basically just turned it inside out, sewed it like a pillowcase or whatever, closed both, turned it right side out, top stitched the end so that it was all finished, and tied it into a bow and pinned it right here. So I will show you, and then the next thing I did was the tiny top hat, which is right here. The tiny top hat. I took a black top hat from the doll section at Hobby Lobby. This was leftover, this was one of the sleeves, part of the fabric from one of the sleeves of the jacket that I'd cut off the jacket. And I basically cut a circle and kind of hot glued it here and hot glued it around here, kind of gathered a little bit. The first thing I did was put a circle around the bottom, another circle like a frisbee shape across here of fabric. just hot gluing the whole time. I hot glued matching fold over elastic, which I happen to have, just to cover the hemline and make it a little neater. This is also fold over elastic, this black chin strap. So this is 2 pieces that I have tied in a bow. They're hot glued into the hat. I mean, very simple. The black bit around the hat is actually black bias binding, a scrap of it that I found. And then this is another piece of that I just sort of folded and made into a little fake bow, just like this big fake bow, but I did the little tiny fake bow. And slightly glue stick messy, but tiny top hat. Tiny top hat. I showed you the bows. What else? That's pretty much everything. Oh, the bodice was the jacket. Was the hardest part. The jacket. Cutting that into the bodice because it was fully lined. The jacket was fully lined, and this is what it became. Originally, there was no zipper in the back, and this was open with buttons and stuff, and I cut that part off, sewed it together, opened the back seam, added a zipper, added one of the buttons that had originally been on the front as a little closure up at the neck. This is a piece of black t-shirt, steam-a-seam. I just ironed it directly onto the bodice and then stitched about 2 inches apart from each other in rows because it's supposed to look kind of like strapping. And here's the finished look. So I'm very proud of that. That's done. Yay! This weekend is the next Project Linus meeting. It's the 2nd Saturday of each month. And I started this at the last Project Linus meeting. This is as far as I got with the orange. So then I added blue. It was after I had the orange that I went and bought my Karen 1-pounders in primary colors. So I got the blue, and then I did yellow. And these were the skeins that I rolled on my skein winder, so I just basically did a full skeins worth until I didn't have enough to do a complete row, and that's when I stopped and went to the next color. And then I just finished the green tonight and started on the going around now with the red. Hopefully that'll be finished by this weekend. I'm just going to go around, and actually I think when I get to this side I may go do a few rows back and forth before I continue around and do the same thing on this side just to make it a little wider. I've done that once before and it worked well. So I did a baby blanket, actually a couple of months ago I finished it for a coworker, but she's got them at home now, and I made her a blanket with cotton yarn, and it's just a big granny square, and I'll put a picture of that here. And she just sent me a picture of the baby in the blanket, and that is here. I'm pretty sure there was something else I was going to talk about, but I'm distracted and I totally forgot. So I'm going to make that it. Everybody have a great week. I hope you all have a crafty week, and I will see you next week. Bye! And now we're getting a visit from Pouncey. Hey, Pounce. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Come here, kitty cat. Come say hi. Oh! Come say hi to the camera. Here it is right there. No, that's not it. That's the light. The camera's over there. Look over there. There you go. Good kitty. And bye, Pounce.